I'm Meaghan Chitwood, and welcome back to From Overlooked to Consistently Booked, where we have real conversations with real professionals. I love small businesses and helping get small businesses going, and this one is extra heartfelt. Today, our guest is Dr. Eleanor Murray of Madison Gynecology and Wellness. To do a little bit of a backstory, in 2014, I created a vision for what I wanted my life to look like. And part of that vision was to help people get businesses started. Little did I know that my sister would be one of those businesses that we got started. I am so excited for what she's accomplished and what she's done. And to celebrate that, not only do I want to have this podcast to memorialize all of it, but also I want to tell you how brilliantly she created the business of her dreams. And so with that, welcome to the show, Eleanor, because I tell everyone, I call her Eleanor because it's really hard for me to say Dr. Murray because I've put her in a headlock before. Fact. True. Right. True. So today we want to talk about the power of small details. And when you were creating your practice, you really sat down and thought through your patient journey. So tell us a little bit about what that process was like.
I went through residency and had some strong preferences about how patients were treated, saw it happening and saw it not happening. Progressed that into my first job after my graduation.
Your residency?
My residency was done in North Carolina because my husband's in the military. I was going to travel around a lot. So I've had a couple of different places I could gather things that little nuggets of things I wanted to do if I ever had it my way. And along those places with 3 to 4 jobs, I gathered things and ultimately wanted to do it my way.
So what did your way end up being? What are some of the details that you have created that you didn't see or you wanted to change elsewhere?
So toilet paper comes to mind. I was like, I want good toilet paper in my practice. I do. I like it at my house and I want it at my place. So stupid little things like that, but bigger things such as cloth gowns. As I examine patients, I like to look at their back. I find I'm one of the only places they're naked. So I need to optimize this opportunity to catch things for them. So I would do a paper gown, and by the time I looked at their back skin, if they were widowed, I'd find cancers sometimes that should have been seen long before then. To the breast exam, I would tear this paper up to the point where we're at the end of the exam. We've got our hands over our nipples and we're gathering our thoughts and final plan. And I thought, this is inhumane and I want to do better. That's expensive. So you go to other practices where you're one of the partners and they don't want to spend that kind of money. And then you realize, well, that's wrong because we should be spending that kind of money. So I got this opportunity to do it my way and spend money where I felt like it was well spent.
So I love all of that. And I love small businesses because you can create that kind of experience. It isn't too expensive for a small business owner because you get to make the rules and you get to decide ultimately what you want that to be. And to help you out a little bit, some of the other things that you also do that are standards that you've had is heaters in the rooms. And then one of my favorites, because it created one of the best stories, was you always want the front desk to be smiling and welcoming when someone comes in.
I do.
And one of my favorite stories is there was a person who literally said to you, I can't smile after 2:30. So I know I'm not a good fit here because you had set that standard and you had said, I need everybody smiling until the last patient leaves.
Yes, they're coming in vulnerable or scared or worried, and that matters.
True confession, being more of a process person and business owner and thinking more about the financial statement than you traditionally do. I actually sat back and I wondered, like, is all of this really going to matter? Like, I loved it. It was going to create a great experience. I believed in all of that, but I was very curious if it was going to matter. And it was amazing to me when your reviews started flowing in and they mentioned literally every tiny detail you put into play.
Yeah, I think details matter.
So do you think you just think like that's just the way everybody thinks, huh?
No, because I worked with people who didn't think that way and I had to do my own thing to get all the things I wanted for my patient.
Yeah. You also have a great personal brand. Why do you think you are different from that perspective than other people who provide the same service you do?
I never lose do unto others. If I'm going off the rails because I'm frustrated and I realize I am not this person, I need to think, how would I want to be treated regardless of where I find sometimes I feel like we're not on the same page, but what I have to step back and say, what would I want? How would I want to be treated if, these are my complaints, or these are, my statements about myself. And I feel like that never fails me.
Yeah. And that's your patient is saying,
Yes.
and you're saying to yourself, I'm not picking up what you're putting down, but it's like,
Yes.
how would I want to be treated ultimately?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
or where can I meet them at a place where just education lacks, or those kind of things, just getting to that common ground and then treating them like I want to be treated.
Yeah. So in the lesson that I did on YouTube, I actually told the story of mom having breast cancer recently. And she told the story of how impressed she was that because she was your mother, that she got treated the way that she did. Tell us what you said to her, though, when
This is how I take care of my patients.
You're not special, Mom.
I mean, you are. She's very special. But that's how I take care of my patients.
Yeah. What about the power of small details would you like? What other things would you like to say?
I'm also surprised that those mattered. I mean, I really am. I thought, this is what I want, but I don't know if anyone will notice. And they have. And that felt good.
That is really, I mean, I thought I was the only one that was doubting the whole vision, and is it going to come to fruition? But it has been wild to see. And then the other part, I think, as a detail that you had is also the office doesn't feel like a doctor's office.
I hope not, because that's intimidating, and it adds anxiety to an already anxiety-provoking situation in a pelvic exam or gynecologic exam.
Think of places that you have visited outside of healthcare and how they can create an experience. Are there other things that you have seen outside of healthcare where people could apply this to other businesses?
I mean, it comes down to the do unto others. Where do you see people struggle when you're taking care of them, or whatever your business is? Where's the anxiety-provoking situations, trying to ease those?
Let's talk about how you got your practice started and why and all of those things.
I was pretty much in the fetal position, but I was at soccer practice. So you were in my car watching my daughter practice while I cried my eyes out saying, I can do better for my patients. I just can't in the setting I'm in right now.
We weren't actually watching any soccer. We were really far away, but yes,
We were in the
that was
soccer
the
parking
scene.
lot.
It was the soccer parking
Yes.
lot. How did I get there?
No idea.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't either.
Keegan, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
Oh, I might
I
have
don't
called
remember
you.
a child.
It was bad.
It was bad because
Yeah.
I think you did call. I think you did call me because I didn't have a child with me, nor was I supposed to be at the soccer
It
field.
was a panic 911 sister call, and I needed to do better, and I wasn't able to. And sometimes what was at stake is someone's childbirth and the outcome associated, or a surgical situation. And I'd gotten to a place in my career that I can do it well. I just need to make sure that the patient receives the good care. And to get there, after working so hard to get there, and reading and working and watching videos just to learn from anyone else, because after residency, you don't watch anyone else do their job. I got to a place of perfection in my career, the best you can be as a human, and the outcomes weren't there because of support staff or the lack of control that I didn't have. And that is where I quit OB, actually. And I decided to do GYN only, where I could maximize that and be in control the whole time and always know that my patient will get the best care possible at any length.
So there's a book called Extreme Ownership. When I read it, I realized it's a family trait. We like to have control over every element, every detail, and every single thing. And and I think we traditionally run from it, like run from the situation we're in that we can't control to create a situation that we ultimately can. And that's what's just amazing about small business and ultimately creating a small business for yourself as well. So in our next segment, we are going to talk about the creation of the customer journey and how all of that works. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's podcast, From Overlooked to Consistently Booked. And again, we're going to bring back Dr. Eleanor Murray, my sister, to talk about how she designed the customer journey. If you like conversations like this, please like and subscribe to the channel and drop us a comment below on something you'd like us to dig into.